I've been a recruiter for quite a while. I started in 1987 placing mainframe programmers. I kid you not, down on Wall Street, and it was super low tech. We're talking index cards, like grandma's recipe box. And guess what? We made plenty of placements. I bought that firm the day after my 27th birthday. I came in, and the boss said how much, and I told him how much, and then we're off to the races. And I've been in this business ever since, all under J. Patrick and Associates. I kind of moved away from the developers because I got along with vendor people really well. They had a sense of urgency. They got things done, and they like to reduce steps, all of which makes recruiters very happy when you're willing to do things with 2 interviews instead of 2 to whatever power, right?
Yeah.
And then I've owned this place, and I've always been looking for sort of what I call bottleneck breakers. Like, how do I scale up? How do I reduce steps? How do I make things faster? And that's worked well for me. I grew up in New York City. I live about 100 miles north of there now. This is actually where I live. Well, what's interesting is that I've been always trying to find a way other than email and ATS submissions to basically get a sort of a richer, better way to submit candidates, but also to get a lot more interaction, right? Like I'm still a phone animal. You don't sell to strangers. And so we've tried every kludgy version of this, including like, Google Docs and Sheets and all that kind of stuff. And it still is never, it's always ugly. It's just always ugly. And some people like it and some people don't. And, the big problem is it looks like their work, every other platform they look like. And that was one of the things that really attracted me about client portals. And I looked at other client portals in the past and just couldn't get them to work, even the ones that were integrated with Bullhorn. I would say it's about 95% positive. The other 5% are dinosaurs. There's always a small percentage of everybody, but particularly clients. Actually, the guy I just got off the phone with that I was telling you before we started recording, I sent him candidly. He's like, oh, Dan, just send the resumes. Meanwhile, all his other managers love it because it's easy to use. All the communication's there. They're not chasing emails. The presentation in this sort of enrichment is so much better than, the resume, which people skim anyhow, plus whatever note you give, which is always fraught. So for me, like being able to give them as much information the first time around with which to make a, pass or no pass type of decision, like I want to interview this person or no thanks, and here's why, right? Because I don't know about you, recruiters live on feedback. If you don't tell me where the target is, I'm not going to send you any more resumes. Right. So that really has been our experience so far. So mostly positive with one or two exceptions. The platform has been really helpful to me. I mean, I think the biggest thing that I would say to somebody who's looking at it is the tight integration with Bullhorn, right? And I'm always looking for like I said, things to scale. But the biggest thing I tell people and the people who work for me is like the list function is the big deal, right? I can get a single candidate to all my managers, all my clients that I have signed up with a contract, the same kind of person, bang. Just like that. The other thing you can do is you can copy that person to duplicate to another list and get them out to a specific job very quickly. So if I have a person, and obviously everybody knows it's a candidate's market, it's a seller's market now, if I can get them in front of the right people, as many of them as possible, as smoothly, without having to do a separate send out in Bullhorn every time, that is super powerful for somebody, like, at least speaking for myself, that's the way I work. So, because when I talk to a candidate, I'm literally writing down the ideas right away, and then being able to do that very quickly, that's super helpful.